Good morning. Welcome back to Planet Doug. And my planet is looking pretty good today. It was raining yesterday, so I didn't really go outside very much. But today, about 11 o'clock in the morning, I think it's a Tuesday or a Wednesday morning. I've lost track of the days, which I often do lately. And the sun is out. Very, very nice day. So I thought I would head out for another bike ride. And as I've done on previous days recently, I've got 3 GoPros running all at the same time. And I'm not going anywhere dramatic or anywhere very far away. In fact, why don't we switch over to Google Maps for a second, and I'll show you what it is I have planned for today. Here is the city of Tanjung Balai on Google Maps, and this is my hotel, Hotel Malahayati right here. It's sort of on the outskirts of the city. This is the downtown core right here where the 2 rivers meet. That is the downtown area of Tanjung Balai. So my hotel is a little bit on the outskirts. And one thing that has always been interesting to me is the amount of traffic on this road that goes up and down, thundering past my hotel day and night. It's really quite something. So and in my mind, I think of this area south of my hotel as being farming districts. If you just sort of look at all of this, it's not like there's a huge city down there. I mean, let's click on a satellite view just for a second, and you can see it's all farming areas. So I keep wondering, why are so many people driving up and down this road on their scooter? There is so much traffic. Where are they all going, and where are they coming from? So one of my plans for today is to actually ride my bike in this direction, down this road, and just see what this area looks like. Because again, I'm curious where all these people are going and where they're all coming from. So that's my number one idea, is to ride down this road. And then I noticed as I was looking around Google Maps, there's actually an interesting little village right here called Sungai Daun. And if we click on it, we actually get, like someone says, the Great Village. This is Konohagakure in real life. I don't know what that means. But when I saw that, I clicked on satellite view, and if we zoom in, you can see that there is a small cluster of buildings right here on the river. And I thought, if you're looking for a destination for a short bike ride, you can do worse than this. So I thought, oh, why don't I see if I can ride my bike all the way to this little village and check it out. So in fact, my idea is to ride down this road from the hotel and see if I can get down to the river, and then from the river follow this road and go to this village. So that's my goal number 2. I don't know whether this road is passable, like to come to here, perhaps go in this direction to here, and then cycle along the river to the village. I don't know if that's even physically possible. It's hard to tell from even Google satellite view, but that's my idea. And then I thought, well, now that I've made it all the way to this village, why don't I just keep going on my bike, see if I can follow this road all the way around in a circle. And this is where I was 2 days ago, this little peninsular area right here, cut off by this small river. That's where I went exploring the other day. And I noticed this dirt road leaving from that district, heading in this direction. And I was curious to see what this area looked like. But this way I can come from the other direction, leave from my hotel, ride down to the river, along the river to this village, and then see if I can follow this dirt road all the way around back into this peninsula area. But now I want to exit this way. When I went there the other day, I exited across this bridge, and I may end up doing that again just because I love the banana smoothie that I can get over here. But then I may just turn around again so that I can cycle through this area and then exit across this bridge over here, see what this looks like, and then from there I can make my way through these small streets back to my hotel. So that is my plan for the day. Basically start from my hotel and then go in a circle along the river and then back to my hotel once again. So that's it. That's my plan for today. Now let's get back to the bike. So that's it. That's my plan. And I've already left from my hotel and turned to the right to explore this area that I was talking about. Such a mystery to me how much traffic there is on this road going by my hotel. And I keep wondering, where are all these people going? So yeah, this is it. This is where they are going. I've never come this, well, I've driven a short distance on this road, but I've never gone all the way down to the river. So basically, I would say almost everything I'm seeing around me right now is kind of brand new to me. I don't know this neighborhood at all. And it seems quite bustling in terms of businesses and homes right here. This is still the main road that goes by my hotel. But of course, on my left and on my right tends to be open countryside. So there's not much out there. It's already getting quieter. Not nearly as much traffic. I guess there are residential areas, small ones, on my left and my right. But not a whole lot of people live out here, but hey. It feels like the land here is getting lower and the water table is rising the closer I get to the river. So I can see a lot of the land right around these houses is flooded. I've seen some flooding around my hotel, but seems to be quite a bit more out here. A lot of weaving going on this road, some big rough patches. And the Baychak and cars have to weave side to side to get through it. To be honest, the road is actually in much better condition than I expected. Still paved out here. Though I've only gone a couple of kilometers from my hotel, but I was half expecting the road to become dirt and gravel pretty quickly, but it's still paved out here. Though I still don't see enough houses, enough residential districts out here to justify the amount of traffic that goes up and down my street. Particularly on the weekends, becomes like the Indy 500. Yeah, you get such an interesting range of buildings. Quite humble structures. And then you'll see giant, practically castles from time to time. Got one on my right now. Probably. I'm fine. How are you? Oh, kebab. But yeah, there's one very big white one right behind me there. One thing I've noticed is that shooting video has really altered the way I ride this bicycle. I just seem to be going much slower than normal, and I ride much more carefully just because all the bumping throws all the cameras out of angle. But that's all right, and going slower gives me more opportunity to look around and see the neighborhood. Just passing over this small river, look how flooded that is. Or not really flooded, but fast moving, high water levels. It gives you an indication of just how much it's been raining. All of that water coming down out of the highlands from around Lake Toba. Look at that. I guess it's a lot wider there. And at this point it narrows down, which is why you get such a fast flow all of a sudden. So yeah, the pavement has disappeared once I crossed over that fast-moving river. Yeah, road is dirt and rock now. And I'm not that far away from the main river. And I think a woman who was talking to me there was trying to tell me that I can't go this way, but you can't really take that kind of information at face value. You got to go see for yourself. So I'm going to see just how far I can get. I'm passing by a school. Hello. Hello. And a road work crew. Another school over here on my right. Yeah, talk about water. Look at that. I didn't even know there was a river here, to be honest. But yeah, this one is flowing pretty high as well. Looks like they have a little bit of a cement breakwater, or barrier, but I'll bet this river flows over top all the time. This whole area, yeah, would be prone to flooding, I think. Bridge over here, crossing the river. Oh, I think I heard a boat going up river. Oh, and here's one, coming up from the main river. Oh, an amazing area. Glad I came down here. A whole new way of life here in Tanjung Balai. Totally different from the area downtown. See that yellow truck right there? They're either loading or unloading coconuts. I'm guessing they have to be loading. I guess they grow them here and they're picking them up to take them for sale somewhere else. But that yellow truck is such a workhorse here in Sumatra. This typical type of yellow truck. I don't know what brand it is, to be honest. But you see it hard at work. Sometimes has metal sides, sometimes wooden slats on the sides, but the basic truck is always the same, and it does everything here. Garbage trucks carrying all kinds of loads. Yeah, that's the workhorse of Sumatra. Yeah, I just checked on Google Maps, and it doesn't even show a river here at all on the main Google Maps view. Maybe it shows up on satellite view, but in this bright sun, I can't really make out any detail on satellite view. It's hard to, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to figure it out. Just trust my eyes that, yeah, there is a river here. I can see it. I don't need Google Maps to tell me that. And he's carrying a load of roofing material. I guess someone made all of that at home. Yeah, the road here is really rough. Again, I could ride my bike on this, but it'd be pretty uncomfortable. Just gonna walk my bike for a while. This is when you need an itchy boots style motorbike with suspension and get you over rocks like this much easier. Yeah, I was talking about this the other day, like on one of my first bike rides here in Tanjung Balai, about how people who live people out here, of course, don't have as much money as people who live downtown. It's cheaper to live out here than downtown. And yet, in many ways, it can be more expensive to live out here because you have to go on so many trips in and out of town. And these rocky roads would just tear your scooter to pieces. Yeah, you can see as people go by me on their scooters, they do have suspension so they can ride on these rocks. But it would just tear their scooters apart going on this every day. More wear and tear on the vehicles. There were two men sitting at a building there, and they were inviting me to come join them for a drink, but I've just set off, so I'm sort of more in the mood to keep going right now, keep exploring. But one of them was making a gesture with two hands like this. And I was trying to figure out what he meant. And I thought he was saying, oh, be careful, there's crocodiles or alligators here or something. But then they looked at me like, no, not. But I think maybe what he was saying, he was indicating like, come over here and we can talk. We can have a maybe that's what he meant. Come over for a chat. And the younger guy told me that this road is impassable, that it's there's nowhere to go once you get to the end. But again, we'll see whether that turns out to be true or not. You never quite know what people mean when they say things like that. Yeah, it's great to be living near rivers because boats become such a way of life. Use them to make a living, of course, fishing, boat building. It's like an older one that they're going to rebuild. But then you can also use the river for transportation. Just becomes the lifeline of the villages here. I've come to the end of the road as far as I can see it on Google Maps. There's like a mosque marked, and I just went by the mosque. A lot of palm trees here, coconuts. But the road continues onward, and the hydro, like electricity lines, continue as well. So that's always a good sign if there's still electricity running out to this area. There still has to be more houses, right? So, yeah, it's still pretty rough though. I think even if I was riding my bike, I'd be going so slow it wouldn't be much faster than walking it. So, still walking for now. And I passed by a couple of spots. It was quite interesting. I didn't take any video because these were like bathing sections, like these very small streams with a lot of water in them. And the local people here put like tarps around, like sunk poles into the mud, and then strung some tarp to give privacy curtains. And then there were people there bathing in the stream. A little homemade shower cabinet right in the middle of the stream. And this is where the power of Google Maps really comes into its own. Because even if you had a paper map or a compass and you were skilled at that sort of navigation, you have no idea where you are right now. But since I'm connected to a satellite, I can get out my phone at any time and physically see exactly where I am. I may not see every single local road on Google Maps, but I can see the land, and the satellite will tell me where I am. It's amazing. I still can't get over that. It's completely transformed how we can visit other countries. Just gives you a lot more confidence to head out like this and just keep following the road wherever it goes, because you know you can always find your way back. In the old days, of course, the language barrier was a big problem because you couldn't really ask for directions, could you? You can try, but it's kind of hard to understand what anyone's telling you. And now, yeah, you're just free. So once I find a bit of shade somewhere, I'm going to take out my phone and see where I am. Right behind me there, you can see a pile of that roofing material, like the thatch roofing. And there's some women in the field there who are sitting in the shade, and they're busy cutting up the banana leaves or the palm leaves, and then sewing that together, making those, and then I assume selling them. A way to make some money out here. Here's a little bit of shade. Time to check my satellite view. Nice. These kids are putting me to shame though. They're all riding their bikes. There's a local house right in front of me there. So let's see where I am. Can I keep going? Okay, yeah, this is exactly the road I was looking for. I can see this road on Google Maps, but I thought when I reached the river I would be able to turn and follow a road along the river, but On this view of Google Maps, there is no road following the river. Oh no, but on satellite view there is. Okay. Yeah. So I think the man who was telling me, no, you can't go this way, he was looking at it from the point of view of a typical person trying to get somewhere. It's like, well, no, these roads don't lead anywhere, but you can, in fact, get on these smaller and smaller and smaller roads and actually get to the river, and it looks like I'll be able to follow the river. Anyway, let's ride the bike a little bit. Got a little bit smoother here, more dirt than rock. There are those kids up ahead of me, riding their bikes home from school. Yeah, and there's still hydro wires here. And then, as always, I end up reflecting on how there isn't a patch of land on the planet where people aren't living. It's just amazing, the variety of places where people live, you know? Even way out here, we're going to find houses and people actually live here and grow up here. I remember having that feeling in the Philippines, particularly following the coastline and getting on a boat, going between the big islands, and you pass hundreds of tiny islands. And every single island has, no matter how small, how remote, has somebody living on it. It's pretty wild. Yeah, here's a little cluster of homes, a mosque, and there'd be a community here, people, all neighbors who know each other, celebrate birthdays and weddings and births and holidays together. I've seen quite a few satellite dishes on the rooftops. As always, I always wonder whether they're in use or not, or just how old they are. And yeah, they have electricity out here. I doubt very much that they have plumbing, like they have to get all their water from the rivers and get their drinking water some other way. Some shade. Time for another satellite check. See where I am. So, kind of a good thing I checked the satellites, because I took a wrong turn. As far as I can tell, in this direction, the road really does dead end. I was supposed to go in a different way to get down to the river. So I have to backtrack a little bit, find the intersection where I made a wrong turn. I think I know where it was. There was a point where there was an intersection, but one road, the one that I'm currently on, was much bigger and paved, sort of. Had sort of the remnants of paving, and then anyway, it just looked like the main road, and the other direction looked more like a trail. So I just chose the road that looked like the main road. And Turns out I was supposed to follow the path rather than the road. Whew. So, thanks to the Google satellite view, I found my way back to this intersection. And ahead of me there, you can see the pathway. So the difference between that and then the road that I followed is pretty obvious. But I was supposed to go this way. But yeah, when I had to choose between the road and the path, the road seemed like the obvious way to go, but this is actually the direction that takes me down to the river. And since I've been at the intersection looking at Google Maps, a couple of motorcycles went down this path. So it does definitely go somewhere. But yeah, it's pretty rough, so I'm going to walk along here as well. One interesting thing is that as I was going down that road, I talked the other day about how I made changes to my camera mounting system, and I was trying to get my broomstick more rigid and more so it didn't bounce up and down as much. And I tied a rope onto it, and then it doesn't prevent the stick from bouncing down, but it prevents it from bouncing up. So it actually does reduce. I was hoping it would reduce the vibrations quite a bit. But then this morning I noticed that the rope had really loosened up to the point where it wasn't having any effect anymore. So I thought, I probably don't even need it. So I removed it. But then even as I was walking down the road, I could see my GoPro just bouncing a lot more. So my rope actually has a big effect. So I took the time in the shade to retie my rope. And there was a local man there. I don't know anything about him, but he was walking along the road. And he came up to me a couple of times, just looking very, very concerned about me, what I'm doing here, and where in the world I think I'm going. And I did say to him, in my best Indonesian, I don't speak Indonesian, I'm sorry, and I don't understand what you're saying. But then I would leave him and continue up the road. But then he would catch up to me and then ask the same questions with a very concerned look. And I finally had to say again, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Yeah, if this is the pathway to the river, it'll be interesting to see what the pathway following the river looks like, because I'm trying to get to that village that I pointed out on Google Maps. And here come a couple of motorbikes or scooters. I'm just going to pull over to the side and let them go past. Could be students, or they could live or work out here. I don't know. Hey. Definitely students. Yeah, they got the school uniform on. So I'm just about at the river where this road ends, and I'm hoping to be able to, according to satellite view, go across the river on a little bridge, and then there should be a dirt road going alongside this river. It's not the main river, but one of many in this area. Yeah, there's some houses here. Oh, quite a cluster. Oh, and this must be the bridge right here. Oh, look at that. That is amazing. Very rough, homemade sort of bridge. My name is Douglas. Saya dari Canada. So, this is definitely a bridge to walk your bike across. I do not want to lose my balance and end up in the drink. Hello. Hi. Yeah. So this is palm oil here that they're cutting down, loading up onto boats for delivery somewhere, I guess. Where do I come from? I come from Canada. Canada, yeah. I am a tourist.
Turis Kanada. Dari Kanada dia.
So hot. Hi. Oh, photo.
Siapa kita? Mama, kenapa takut kamu? Cut. Aku nak berdua. Aku nak berdua berfoto. Dia tak tahu lagi. Oh, nak pen. Saudara. Siapa lah, woi? Kamu ni. Aku nak berdua. Aku nak berdua berfoto. Where are you going?
Just going along the river and then around to Tanjung Balai.
Yes.
Yeah.
Udah cepat lah, woi.
Yeah.
Yes. Follow kan bodoh. Cepatlah. Follow. Aku nak berdua berfoto. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sama-sama. Okay.
Oh, jadi bapak kasih follow. Okay, thank you.
So I just crossed over that bridge and look at this amazing trail following alongside this river. Nice and smooth right now. And I took a couple of pictures with some of the women there. But my GoPro Hero 12, it's got like a mind of its own. It knows exactly the most inconvenient time to overheat. It actually overheated just as we were taking pictures. And I tried so hard to get my handlebars adjusted so that the camera would take in the photo session. Couldn't quite do it properly, but it was good enough. And then as soon as they started taking pictures, I heard the telltale beep of the GoPro shutting down. But I am shooting in 4K again, so it's my own fault. 1080p is the way to go, but hey, it feels really silly to have a camera that can shoot in like 5.7K, but only utilize 1080p of all that sensor power, right? You might as well try to at least shoot in 4K. Yeah, I just have to monitor how long I've had it running and make sure I shut it down at strategic times to make sure it doesn't overheat too badly. Oh, what a nice little road. Way nicer than I expected. This is like smooth sailing. Look at this. Just enough room for one, you know, just one way. Yeah, it looks like they built a second, like this is a built up like flood barrier maybe, because there's a road on my left down below. That looks much rougher. But then they created a pathway on top of this, what would you call it, a berm? I'm not sure. It's amazing how many narrow pathways and local roads there are. I just passed another one there that cuts off to the right, and I'm just going to double check quite often. You assume you're heading in the right direction. No, I definitely want to keep going straight.
And that was the telltale sound of my Hero 12 overheating again. Oddly enough, my Hero 9s are doing much better. They haven't overheated even once on all these hot days. They're also shooting in 4K, same 25 frames per second. But I guess the 12 is just a more powerful beast, and it puts out a lot more heat. This is a beautiful pathway. It's gorgeous following alongside the river like this. I was imagining all manner of difficulties, like because of all the rain. I thought this riverside pathway would be flooded out, big areas of nothing but mud, but man, couldn't ask for anything nicer than this. Just rough enough to be interesting, and yet smooth enough that you can just sort of sail along. Yeah, and here the river is narrowing. Oh, there's a confluence here. It's meeting up with another river. Right here. Talk about a jungle paradise. Amazing. There's another. Oh man, look at this. It's going in all kinds of directions. You don't often see this. It's an X. There's a river coming in from that direction, and then it's actually continuing in that direction. So these rivers are actually crossing over each other in kind of an X. Yeah, and there's some people coming across on their scooter. There's a boat going upriver, or downriver I should say. So yeah, the children got off so that she could navigate it on her own. And then they'll climb on board afterwards. Okay, time for me to walk my bike across this bridge. I don't think I've ever seen rivers cross each other like this before. I mean, they come together in a Y. But these two rivers actually meet, cross each other in an X formation, and then both continue along their merry way. It's crazy. I guess maybe they did it on purpose. There's another boat going in that direction. There they go. Yeah, I don't know if this makes any sense what I'm saying, but maybe if I come out here to get a better look at it. So this river is coming in this direction, flowing that way. This river is coming in this direction, and then it flows in that direction. So they form an X. And they have this cement barrier here, so the water actually gets channeled through that opening, and then the river continues in that direction. So normally you would see these two rivers come together and form one. Crazy. There's a pile of something here that they're waiting, I guess, to put it on a boat to take it upriver. I'm guessing they're like coconut shells. Oh no, it's sand, I think. Sand. Must be very, very heavy. All right. And that's the direction. There might be a dam here, like to control water flow, I'm guessing. Looks like a larger structure. So I let my Hero 12 cool down just for a minute or two. Now I'm trying to eke another couple of minutes of recording time out of it. I just want to make it to this dam. Cross over the bridge at this dam. And then I can shut it down, let it recover again. Yeah, it's definitely a much bigger structure here. I wonder what it is. It's got a fence, barbed wire around it. I can't think of what these things are called. They aren't really a dam. Like dams block the water permanently, but these are like sluice gates. And they can open and close them depending on what they need. But yeah, there's the sluice gate, wide open right now. And there's another one here. So there's two of them side by side, but they're both wide open. Another river flowing in this direction, a very complicated set of rivers joining, merging, and separating. Very cool. Okay, just leaving from the sluice gates, you can see the buildings behind me probably. And I have like 1.5 kilometers to ride to this village. So I'm just about at the village. I'm pretty sure this is there's an intersection with a road here, and the road will go in that direction down to the main river, the big one, and that's where the small village is. That was my second goal for the day. I wanted to see what that area was like over there, like past my hotel, and I wanted to see this village. Okay, so heading into the village. And here we are down at the main river. I think this village is called Sungai Daun, like D-A-U-N, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Sungai Daun or Dawn. Oh, there's the main river right there. So I'm just going to walk my bike along here for a minute. If I come across a shady spot where I can sit down, I'm going to take advantage of it because it's quite warm. I had to stop out there in the sun to change all the batteries in all my GoPros, and yeah, that got me pretty hot. Hello. So okay, here. So there's a little bench right here. Oh, so here we are. Nice. I'm always on the hunt for nice benches. The world doesn't have enough benches in it. So I'm very appreciative when I find one, especially one like this, in the shade with a view like that behind me.
Halo Bang, selamat datang di Tanjung Balai, Datuk Bandar.
So what is your name? Nama?
Irwansah Margolang.
Golang?
Yeah, Irwansah Margolang.
Okay. So I was sitting here in the shade in Sungai Daun, and there's this bench here beside this river, beautiful river, and then this man pulled up on a scooter. His house is right there, so he lives here in Sungai Daun. And I was asking him some questions about his life. He said it was okay, and he works at the local government office here. He's a worker in the municipal office here. He has 2 children, dua anak, and this is his oldest son right here. And yeah, so we were just getting to know each other, having a chat here by the river. So anyway, thank you very much. Okay. Right. Selamat tinggal.
Hati-hati Jan.
Yes. Yep. So just leaving from the water, from the shoreline here. My chat with the young man from the municipal office. He works for the government, but I don't know if the office is here in Sungai Daun, a small office, or he works back in a larger office in Tanjung Balai itself. I'm guessing Tanjung Balai. But it's a very small walkway down by the river there. Where I was, that was pretty much the end of it. So here, I'm already turning to leave from the village. And from here, unfortunately, I don't think the path or the road follows alongside the river at all. It just goes through some like palm oil plantations and things like that, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure which way to go. I have to check my map here. There is a small pathway heading in that direction, but as far as I can tell on Google Maps, it just kind of peters out. For me to continue in that direction, I think I have to go back out to this larger one that I was on before. And I did ask the government worker about his monthly salary, and his salary was also in the range of everybody else I've spoken to. So they do seem to be the basic monthly salary ranges here. He said that as a government worker, he was earning 2,100,000 rupiah per month. So 2 juta seratus. So 2.1 million. And I believe that's about $135 US per month. And he has a small house there, has 2 children, his wife, a couple of scooters, and yeah. So yeah, I'm back at the main road here again. And I can follow the paved road for a little while, but I'm going to try and follow the same route that I was on before. Looks nice and smooth. I didn't really see anywhere to get a cold drink when I was in there, so I think I'm going to plan ahead, go back to my fruit stall and get myself my usual apricot juice and pisang juice. So avocado smoothie and a banana smoothie. Wow, what a wonderful ride. You cannot get any nicer than this. It would be nice to be riding alongside the river, but that doesn't seem to be a possibility. There aren't any roads down there at all, not even any pathways. But you don't get any nicer than this. Yeah, when I was chatting with that office worker, he did tell me his name on video, but I couldn't follow it. We had a little bit of a conversation using Google Translate. He was okay at it, but without practice, people tend to speak too quickly for Google Translate to work, or they don't pause in between sentences, and then it just doesn't work. You have to train somebody how to do it. Speak more slowly, speak in precise chunks. But we communicated a little bit. And then while we were doing that, he got out his phone and he started shooting video of me. And that's one reason you can feel quite comfortable in Sumatra anyway, as a YouTuber, taking video of people, because everybody here takes video themselves all the time. He wasn't doing a live stream or anything like that, but he recorded video on his phone of himself, introducing himself and saying that he met a foreigner from Canada. And then people do that all the time. And normally when they do that, I think they want me to say something, or it feels like I should. So I turned to his phone and I said hello to everybody, and Sungai Daun, and yeah. A bit of a bigger bump than I was anticipating. My GoPro went flying. My microphone went flying. I'm having trouble putting everything back together. There we go. Yeah, it sure would be nice at this point to have a Bluetooth microphone, so you don't have to mount a receiver onto your camera. But you can do that with a DJI Action 4 and Action 5, but not with a GoPro yet. There is the GoPro 14 coming up this fall, but there's no way they're going to add that functionality to the next GoPro. That's just too much. All right. Bit of a hill and a bridge to get across. I don't want to go crashing, so walk my bike. Back up the other side. So I think I will shut down for now, and I'll catch up with you when I arrive at that area, the peninsula area that I visited before. I think I can get there all the way along this smooth trail. So I'm back inside the section of Tanjung Balai where I was cycling the other day. Hello. And here's the bridge again. Yeah, well, that didn't work out. I went down into my lowest gear to power up that steep slope. Hello. Hi. Oh. Panas. Oh, photo here.
Thank you.
No, it's YouTube. YouTube. This is YouTube. Planet Doug. Yeah. So down below there, you see two people. They're cutting away the water lilies. I don't know if they're doing that to make the water flow better or to harvest the plant. I'm not sure. But I see someone on a scooter maybe waiting for me, so I better get to the end of the bridge. Good.
Sore. Bukan good morning kalau
Ya,
pagi.
selamat sore.
Selamat sore. Bye. Bye. Mau kemana? Tahu deh, woi. Selamat sore sih dia tahu. Apa yang mau kemana? Nah, jalan. Jangan jauh-jauh.
I am very hot and I am very tired.
Jangan ketat.
Saya sangat kepanasan dan sangat lelah.
Oh, tahu aku. Oh, bagus.
Yeah.
Mau air minum kah?
No, yeah. Minum. Agan. Satu
tahun.
ya bulan. Satu bulan. Hotel Malahayati. Yeah, stay there.
Di mana dia?
Whew.
Thank you.
We take
Foto.
one photo together.
Foto.
1, 2, 3.
Oke.
Satu.
Wes. Oke. Thanks.
Okay. Terima kasih.
Thank you. Tak ada di handphonenya.
Sama-sama.
Tak ada di handphonenya.
All right, here we go.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hello. Bye-bye. Okay. Bye-bye. My name is Douglas. Douglas.
Namanya?
Yeah.
Terima kasih.
Sama-sama.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Kanada.
Saya dari Canada.
Jauh tempatnya. Dari Kanada.
Hey, bye-bye.
Video. Jangan nama bodoh. Mana saya lama? Situ dan doa. Tunggu. Selfie.
Oh,
Bang dengan cek ski. Nama kamu baru bikin.
Okay.
Kenapa tak naik itu sepedanya?
Yan na marami ako sa iyo. Asla.
May putol ba yun? Mas hindi magputol ba?
Wait. Tunggu.
Selfie.
Lagi.
Okay, sige lagi.
Jauh na yun.
Thank you.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
Okay. Yes.
Ira, ini nama dong. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye bye.
Terima kasih.
So I've worked my way through this area, the peninsula that I call it, and I'm leaving in a different direction, but I'm going around the other side of the prison. Wow, gives you a sense of the scale of it. It's a lot bigger than I thought, stretching over this entire block. Today I see some activity up ahead. On the right, I see a whole bunch of scooters, a parking area. And if my experience in other countries is similar to here, it would be all women coming to visit, because most prisoners are men, and their wives and sisters and girlfriends come to visit them. Bring them care packages of food from home. Okay. So it is a functioning prison, and this would be the entrance right here for visitors. Big lineup of people waiting to go in. And that's interesting. It connects with all the rivers that I've been cycling along. A boat filled with palm oil, and they're unloading the boat here, loading it up into that truck. I'm almost at my fruit juice stand. So now we cross our fingers that it's open. And it looks like it's open. So my first shake, I think I'm gonna go for a avocado shake. then get a cold drink like a Sprite or something from Indomaret, and then some water from Indomaret. I ran out of water, and then have a banana shake. Oh, that is so good. So I'm almost done making the rounds. Avocado shake, then a Sprite, and a bottle of water, and now banana shake. And this is going to be the end of the day. I originally had plans that after the shake, I was going to go back into the peninsula and go out through the back roads across another bridge to my hotel. I may still go in that direction, but I'm just going to go straight back. So I'm not going to go slowly. I'm not going to stop anywhere. I'm not going to talk to people. So yeah, I can't catch my breath again. You can see I'm sort of breathing hard, and I'm sort of, yeah. I'm done for the day after I have my banana shake. So give this a try. Oh, it's so good. I could spend the rest of the afternoon just sitting here in this chair, drinking shake after shake after shake. But all right, that's it. Thanks for coming along on that small adventure. Oh, by the way, with the GoPro Hero 12, one of the times I thought it was overheating. It was just me being a dummy. The battery died. So every time I tried to let it cool down and restart it, it was just that I got another 2 minutes out of the battery, and then it would die. And I thought it kept overheating, but it wasn't. It was the battery dying. So it was a combination of overheating, and then later on, it was actually, I just ran out of battery. So all I had to do was change the batteries, but for some reason that didn't even occur to me. And I've been running a Relive app, and I'll probably do a blue dot segment. You'll be able to see those at the end of this video, kind of a bonus track at the end. And maybe I'll post them separately on the Planet Doug Patreon. Maybe some extra photos, video clips, just bonus material on the Planet Doug Patreon. Go check that out. So that's it, shutting down, and I'll see you in the next video.
Welcome to the blue dot feature for this video. And in the blue dot, I show you on Google Maps where I went during the video. And I call it the blue dot because normally on Google Maps, they give you a blue dot that shows you exactly where you are. And quite a few times, the blue dot doesn't show up for me anymore. But today, there it is, right up above my cursor. You can see the blue dot, and that's where I am right now, and that's where this video took place, here on the island of Sumatra in Indonesia. So let's zoom in on the blue dot and see where I am. And this is where I am, in the city of Tanjung Balai, which is on the east coast of Sumatra. And my hotel is right here, the Hotel Malahayati. And basically in this video, all I did was a big loop. I started here at the hotel, rode my bicycle down this street to the river, followed the river in a loop, crossed over a bridge here, and then I followed this road back to my hotel. So that is essentially what I did. And I think the more interesting view for this blue dot will probably be satellite view. So let's zoom in on satellite view and move along this road here. So this is the road that I followed. And one of the things I was curious about, as I mentioned, is to figure out why there's so much traffic on this road. It seemed like there were more scooters and more cars and more becek than there should be. So I was curious to see just how many people lived out in this area. And you can see that there aren't that very many. So if you go down the main road, there's a few houses here on both sides of the road, but not very many people live here. And then you get more and more into a farming district. And one interesting thing is that quite often the rivers don't show up on the regular Google Maps, but they do show up on satellite view. So right here, for example, this is the first river that I crossed over, and I rode across this bridge, and I stopped on the bridge and shot some video, and then you can see the river there. And then I continued along here, and I got to this spot, and it was quite a surprise to me to see that there was a river here as well. And it looks a little bit more like a man-made canal because it does like a 90-degree turn, right? You can see this very sharp angle here, and that's not really a natural path for a river to follow. But yeah, I was riding along here, and this is where there was a whole bunch of road work. There's two schools right here on each side of the road, and then they were doing some road repair right here. And then I saw this river here. And I think if we click over to Google Maps regular view, see that there's no river anymore. So this is the road that I was cycling along, but you don't actually see a river until you go to satellite view. It's like, there's actually a river there. So that was quite interesting. And I rode along here, and then I crossed this bridge here, and then I rode down here, and then this road separated from the river. The river went off in this direction. I continued straight. At this point, I turned to follow this path, and then what I was supposed to do was continue in this direction down to the river. But when I got to this corner, the main road went in this direction, and this was really just almost like a footpath. So without even thinking about it, I just followed the main road, and then I rode my bike through here into this community here, and then I got somewhere around here perhaps, and I realized I was going in the wrong direction. So this is where I turned around, I went back to this intersection, I found this trail, and then I followed the trail to here, and then I got a very pleasant surprise because I was hoping there would be some kind of a bridge here. And in fact, there was a bridge, but it was a much more homemade, like a custom-made bridge than I expected. So it was very cool to be able to go across this bridge. And there were a whole bunch of, there were women in particular here sort of hanging out at this restaurant or a local store. And then there were a bunch of men over here who were busy loading up palm oil onto boats. But anyway, the women came out of the shop right around here, and they just asked me, where are you from? What is your name? And then we took a bunch of pictures together. And then at this point, I really wasn't sure if I would be able to continue riding my bicycle along the river or not. This is all I saw on satellite view, and if you go back to Google Maps, there's nothing, right? So on Google Maps, it doesn't look like there's any road at all. It looks like it just dead ends here, and then there's nowhere else to go. But when you switch to satellite view, it was like, there's something here, and I wasn't sure whether it was suitable for cycling or not. But I was very happy when I got there to find out that there was kind of a road here, but on this side of the road, there was a berm, like a big pile of dirt that had been built up like a flood barrier. And on top of this berm, there was a very smooth, very nice dirt path. So I was able to ride all the way along this dirt path beside the river, going by all these palm oil plantations, just going along, until I got here. And this is the bridge where I kept talking about how the two rivers formed an X. So there was this river flowing in this direction, but there was another river coming down, but instead of the two rivers just coming together and forming one, the river also continued on the other side. So in fact, there was an X shape right here. This river and this river basically crossing each other like an X. So that was very, very cool. And then I continued along, and then here is where I found the flood control. These were the sluice gates. And this is the name of the place, I guess. I didn't put this into my video because I didn't really understand what this name meant, because the English translation, it says construction company. So I didn't really understand this, but basically, as you can see, it's a flood control facility with sluice gates. And that's why I stopped there and shot a little bit of video there. And then I continued cycling along this dirt path, cycling along, really beautiful ride. This was a lot of fun until I got to here. And this is an intersection with a road, and right here is the village, Sungai Daun. And I'm not entirely sure if that is the name of this village, because Sungai means river. But whatever the name of this place, I turned to the right here, and then I rode down into the village, back down to this point basically. There's a mosque here. I rode by the mosque, and then here I could see the river, and then I turned down this little road following along the shore, and then right in here somewhere there was a bench right beside the river. And I sat down on the bench for a while just to rest up, cool down. I had a nice chat with a local man, and then after I was feeling rested, I got back on my bike, rode back to here, and then I rode back out to here, and then I followed this dirt road, following the berm, this beautiful pathway, all the way to the peninsula area. At least that's what I call it. So following along, until I got to here, and then I turned off the dirt pathway down into this community, turned onto this road, crossed this bridge right here, and then I stopped for another rest right here. This is where I took a bunch of selfies with some local children. But mainly what I was doing there was resting in the shade because I was so hot and I was having a lot of trouble catching my breath again. And I rested here for a long time. And then where did I go here? Oh yeah, I got to zoom out a little bit. So after resting here, I cycled along until I got to this mosque. And then I turned down this road and then in this direction, and I found myself on the far side of the prison. So then I went around the prison in this direction this time, stopped on the river. This is where I took a picture of the boat that was unloading the palm oil. And then I continued along this way, turned right, and this is where I got my banana smoothies and avocado smoothie and a Sprite and a bottle of water. I was so dehydrated. I just kept drinking and drinking and drinking. And that's where I ended the video. And then after I had my shakes, then I got back on my bike, and I wasn't shooting any video anymore, but I just rode along here, back to the intersection, and then back to the hotel. So basically, that's what I did. Starting here at the hotel, rode down to the river, followed the river to the village right here, and then I followed the river all the way over to here, had a banana smoothie, and then I returned back to my hotel. And that was a total of about 18 kilometers. And I did shoot a Relive recording, like I'm using the Relive tracking app, but it turns out that the company Relive removed all the features from their basic plan, like their free version. You can no longer upload videos, you can no longer add music, you can no longer add a video title, you can't add notes, you can't add a description. All you basically get is a line on the map, but I'll include it here and you can take a look at it. So this is the Relive video that you now get with the free app. And with that, that will be the end of the blue dot, and I'll see you in the next video.